G'day everyone, it's SDS SuperCoach, providing SuperCoach content for you. We're here to talk about the mid-price madness once again in AFL SuperCoach in a new year. Sorry, I forgot to adjust my camera there. All right, so I guess I've done every pre-season I do a review of the SuperCoach mid-price madness that we usually like to call it. And I mean, this year feels more relevant than ever to talk about the mid prices because I think the game of Supercoach is changing where we're sort of really leaning in more towards those mid prices, getting list especially with best a lot more best 18s, best 22s without the buys this year as well due to the flex. We're actually starting to see a lot more mid prices, which and value premiums, which sort of have us with less rookies on field. And that was the tactic that Joven won with in 2024. Shout out to Joven for winning AFL Supercoach 2024. Listen to his podcast with the main guys at AFL Supercoach. Really interesting thought process. So yeah, this year feels more important than ever to really look at these mid-price guys. So I'm going to be going through it on each line. Make sure if you haven't already, follow me on Twitter at Stephen D.W. Smith and also on TikTok at SDS_Supercoach. Like, subscribe, share, comment. That would be awesome because I really do appreciate all the support. The community, the AFL Supercoach community is absolutely amazing. So it's always a privilege to be a part of it. So let's talk about some of the mid prices. So I'm doing by ownership. We'll talk about most of the guys 2% and above. So I got Callum Mills here, 58% are going with him. Obviously missed a lot of 2024 due to that shoulder injury he did on Mad Monday, the silly bugger. So at 58%, I was skeptical at first with this pick, but now I'm sort of leaning more towards to this pick because I'm hearing a lot more CBA talk, good role, and I mean, all we need him to do is just make us some cash so we can upgrade to someone else. Unless the role's too good, where he becomes a top six defender. So yeah, Mills. I was skeptical at first with Mills, but I'm hearing enough, and we should be putting him in our sides. Whether that's D3, D4, D5, there isn't too many rookies at this stage when it comes to backline. So I've currently got him in at D5 at this stage, but I've currently got a team. I'm gonna have to restructure because Hayden Young's done a hammy. It's minor, but the crap that he we had to deal with last year with him was very frustrating as owners. So I'm going to pivot elsewhere with that. He was going to be my pod pick, but there you go. Um, yeah, so I've got him in at D5, but it might be adjusted due to the Young injury. So yeah, I think Mills is a very fine pick. Now, when we're talking about Kadeen Coleman, there are reports that I'm hearing mixed reports. Is he going to play round zero? Is he going to play the practice games? Is he? He's. I've also heard he's out, and we won't see him till round two, round three. So it's very skeptical. One thing we've got to keep in mind is now I'm going to go to Matty Roberts as well at 4%. I've currently got Roberts and Mills in my side. If Coleman plays, oh, that is so ugly for the round three bye. I love them all as options if they're available, but it's hard to at the minute just due to the price and all that, and obviously the buy. So it's more than likely that you'd have to pick two out of three of these blokes. So I guess ideally, in my sense, so it doesn't cause a headache, I'd rather Coleman miss, but hopefully he's good to go after this. Hopefully he's good to go in round one or two. That sort of thing. Uh, for the Lions there. But yeah, there's just reports of him potentially missing. I haven't currently got him in. And Matty Roberts, I think, is going to be the main distributor of halfback. We got Nick Blakey as well, but I just think he presents a lot of value. And um, you know, sexy redhead. And yeah, I've currently got him in my side, and I think there is potential value here. And I think Coxie loves him. So I think they'll lean more towards to him than Blakey, and Blakey can focus more on the intangibles in defense. We got Jaden Short here. If I'm not mistaken, I believe the last prior to 2024, he's averaged 98 for 4 years in a row, I'm going to say. I could be wrong here. 98, 98. Three from three. Yep, 98 again. And 96. Okay, that's good enough. 3 years in a row of 98 and a 96 in the last 4 years. And he's priced at 82 this year just due to the poor season. But with no Dan Rioli, I'm hearing all reports that he's one of the main distributors of halfback. There is meat on the bone here. Is he a keeper? Not necessarily, but I can see the appeal with him. I've actually currently got him in my team as well. So I've got Mills, Robertson, Short in my team at this stage. I'm not expecting him to be a top six defender, that's for sure, but I certainly think there's a world where he can get back up to those levels of 98 and just be a good hold until his buy, and then we can upgrade elsewhere to an actual top six defender. All right, Ari Schoenmaker, more reports that he's coming off half back as a main distributor for the Saints. For some reason I just don't fall in love with the pick really. Not to be rude to Ari, but from what I've seen at AFL level and VFL level so far out of Ari is that his massive strength is his just distribution of halfback and obviously his big left boot from Tassie. But other than that, I'm not really seeing many other traits to his game that could help him elevate his score. And I do think at the end of the day, especially with David King's latest report about Wanganeen Miller, they're going to lean more towards him than Schoenmaker. I could be wrong there, but I just don't know. So I'm not a fan of the pick just yet, but we'll have to see some practice games. I don't think Tom Duday is even available for round zero or close to it. So I don't believe this, and I don't know why he's in 3%. I don't think he's planning to play in round zero. I haven't heard anything of him fast tracking his fast tracking his ACL recovery. I mean, I'm trying to think when he did it. He did it in training at some time. I reckon it was in April or May, so I'd be very surprised if he was good to go, to be honest. So I'm personally not going there. Weddle, no. I love him as I'm a Hawk supporter, but he's going to be playing everywhere on the field. Wing, a little bit of ruck time, but that's backup ruck time. I nah, I can't do it. Yeah, so I'm personally not a fan of Weddle. Sam DeConning, we're hearing reports of him ruck every now and then. Geelong trialled him for a bit, but as long as the cockroach Reece Stanley is at the club, then it's a bit hard to trust Chris Scott with many Geelong players. So I'll be steering clear for now. Wayne Miller, no, I don't need to discuss that. Archie Roberts, I just think it's too speculative. I think down the line for sure, but I just haven't heard enough in pre-season, and there's enough mouths to feed in that Bombers back line. I think he'll play every week. Like I think he's in their best 22, but I just don't know if he's main distributor ready yet. And Big Mac Daddy Andrew, probably not. So, shout out to Harry Perryman. If he didn't have the early buy, I think he's in a lot more sides and he's training the CBAs. Shout out to him. But yeah, no. I'm not going to rule him out, but just that round three buy with Roberts and Mills, and we'll see if Coleman plays. I just think it's a bit hard. So I've obviously adjusted this with filters with just a rough estimation of prices for each line. So for me, a midfield mid-pricer, look, it's probably the same-ish. We'll do about that. 450K, I'll pronounce as mid-price. So Actually, we'll do midfield last. We'll do midfield last. Ruck line. We'll do the ruck line. So, as you can see, there's really only, I can talk about a couple of these guys. Matt Flynn is obviously one of the more popular ones. It seems a bit up in the air whether he'll be the number one ruck or not. But if he is, then I'm very happy to lock it in. There's a lot more time before round one hits. And if he can have a couple of really strong preseason games, I've currently got him in at R2, I believe. And yeah, I think if Flynn can get that number one role, I do have a lot of interest in that. 261K. Uh, and you put any ruck as a solo ruck in it for any team ever, and they're always going to score well because they're always around the contest. So Flynn, if he can get that number one ruck role, I'm very intrigued. And I think he fits the modern game with the new ruck rule adjustments and all that, where it favors more the bigger rucks. So I'm very keen. I'm very keen on him if he can get the number one role. Sam Draper, no, no, I personally wouldn't be doing that. Coxie, get out of here. Toby Conway, I think this would be a higher percentage, but I think the entirety of preseason he's been in the rehab group. So my suggestion would be we won't be seeing him in the early rounds. That's for sure. So I think there'd be more to talk about if he was up and running, but not at this stage. Bailey Williams, I guess people have got a backup plan for Matt Flynn if he doesn't get it. Nick Bryan's very interesting. I didn't realize he was that expensive. If he ever got traded to a new club, I'd keep a massive eye on this down the line as a future Supercoach option because I think there's a fair bit of talent in Nick Bryan. So I don't know who would he would suit. Could he be the you know have Adelaide had enough with Riley O'Brien and they could go down the Nick Bryan route? But we'll see. And Ned Reeves won't play. Um, I'm hearing some chatter, and good on him. He's having a really good preseason, but we saw in 2023 that the Meek and Reeves combo doesn't work because neither can play forward. And Reeves, unfortunately, due to the ruck rule adjustments, he just won't play. But he'll be looking for some new opportunities soon. I'm pretty sure of it. And again, he could become a super coach option next year if he becomes the number one ruck at a new club. Talk about some of the forwards now. I mean, most of these guys are actually premiums for the forward line. So Helmet, you lock him in, halfback blank. I think he's the most owned player in the game. Actually, it won't show me there, but I think he's one of the most owned players in the game. Caleb Daniel, the helmet, and I would be selecting him with these 269K. Every chance he becomes even a keeper. We know we can trust North Melbourne halfbacks, except for Zach Fisher. And I think he'll do wonders for the Roos as much needed experience in that side. Bailey Smith, oh yes, you do. Yes, you do pick him, but in my eyes, but I don't think it's going to be as big of a home run as we sort of originally thought. I think they're going to be easing him into the side, and I just think for the short term he'll slowly get into it, but I think he will still turn out to be a good pick. I already one of Geelong's best mids, so yeah, I'd be keeping a keen eye on Bailey Smith over the preseason. I think the time on ground could be pretty low, but I think the role will be there. I think they'll play him in the midfield. Jack McRae, lock him in, playing the guts. We've seen him score in the past. Are we getting 120, 130 Jack McRae ever again? No. Are we getting 115? No. I personally reckon best case scenario is could he even go 110? He could do. I'm thinking more 100 to 105. That's perfectly fine at that price. Luke Parker, I can understand with the Wardlaw injury, but for I need to do some more research on Luke Parker. I haven't exactly done enough research on him, so I currently haven't got him into my side, but I'm not ruling it out. Is there a bit of Ben Cunnington about it from a couple of years ago? I don't know. I don't know. He's just one of those picks I'd rather just watch and see because I think North Melbourne do have a lot of mids that can play forward, and I just want to see that split. Riley Sanders, I mean, he tore it up in the Maroochydore practice match, intra-club game with the Dogs, 31 touches, 3 goals. If Bevo can stop being a flog with Riley Sanders, then we might be able to see a massive boost in production with Riley Sanders in 2025, especially with the Adam Treloar injury. He'll be out for 10 to 12 weeks with a calves from now on. So he'll probably miss the first month of the season. So that could really open up opportunity for Riley Sanders, even a Matt Kennedy. Keep an eye on Matt Kennedy, because I know a lot of people are going with Sanders, but Kennedy could be just as good. So we'll just have to see that with Sanders. But we all know he was a very exciting talent coming into the draft, and yeah, I mean he's been doing amazing numbers in the VFL. He just needs that opportunity. Shy Bolton's done his calf. I think it's on the minor side of it, but too inconsistent. I think any of the reports I heard about Fremantle was that he was, I think, like 10% CBAs. They were just throwing him in every now and then. So I'm not. I was never hot on the pick because we know Shy Bolton, he can go 140, but he can also go a 70. Still, this is probably, what did he average last year? 77. I think he can go 85 to 90, but just can't fit him into the current structure. And I think there'll be times where we can get him at a similar price throughout the year or lower. Mateus Filippo, this is very shattering that he has gotten injured. I forgot the injury. Was it 10 to 14 weeks, some range around that? And that is just a shame because I think St Kilda needed a big preseason out of him. And that's just very unlucky. So that hurts. That's the type of midfielder that St Kilda needs. Not to rule him out at any point throughout the Supercoach season, but it does hurt when you have a very limited preseason at the end of the day. Sam Darcy, I mean, he won't become main ruck. I'm not seeing it personally. Liam Baker injured his ankle, so I mean, I wasn't going to go near the pick, but that was now confirmed there. Matt Kennedy, as I said, keep an eye on him. I think he'll get a good run in the Dogs midfield. I think it's that Luke Beveridge type of midfielder, so he will be around the mark, I reckon, this year. Darcy Wilson's training off the half back. He's interesting. 351K though. I don't know. I'll need to see the. I'll just need to see in the Pracky games, and then you've already got Sean Macon, Wanganeen Miller. It's hard to sneak in there into that side. Kerno, I have demons of last year, so I don't think I can do it. Watson, Polar Bear in Arkansas, or whatever the meme is, in Polar Bear in Arlington, Texas. What's he doing here? Similar thing with Kai Lohman. Getting very weird here, and that will do. Nate Caddy, no. All right. Shout out to Nick Watson. Love him. All right, let's talk all things midfield. We're just going to skip by all the DPP here, but Will Ashcroft, 28%. I've currently got him in. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to pass up a Norm Smith medalist. Is he going to be as good as advertised, as some people are hyping up the pick? I think he'll be good, but it's tough with that midfield at Brisbane to score massively because there's only so much of the Supercoach pie that can go around. And I think Dunkley should go 108, 110 again. Neil probably drops off a little bit. Maybe Ashcroft can eat up those points. Think of Hugh McCluggage as well. A few other names in the mix there for the Lions. So I've got him in and I probably will pick him. Still a lot of water to go under the bridge, but yeah, I think he's very interesting. 441K. I think he's in that mold of Dacos and Sheasel, that type of talent. So that's part of the reason I think he plays very similar to them, and probably hasn't been getting as much attention throughout his career due to the ACL and also probably at an interstate club. Luke Park, we don't need to talk about. Yes, James Peatling, I am a massive fan. I will be picking him unless there's an injury. I am very keen on Peatling as a mid-pricer for our midfields. I think just partly due to that there were Janeth brought this up, and I also had this thought as well. There were 8 clubs chasing, or like 6 clubs chasing James Peatling, and he had the choice of the clubs. What do you reckon, besides the money, what do you reckon would have been the selling point for Peatling to pick a club? Surely the club that he picked would have said to him, we're going to be playing you a lot more midfield and we can guarantee you more midfield time here at the Crows. So I know there's match sim reports of him starting on the wing and finishing midfield. I think he has to play midfield, especially with Rory Laird going off half back now. You got Crouch in there. Sid Draper, I don't think is going to play early. He's still dealing with that back injury that he got drafted with. So keep an eye on that. I know Sid Draper's fairly popular this season. So Peatling adds something different. He should play midfield. Who else we got? Isaac Cumming. He obviously did a pretty bad hamstring injury before the Christmas break. And I know there were talks of him being off half back, also on the wing. I think there's going to be too much mucking around with him at this early stage. So I'm probably going to slide past. But if he can nail a specific role in the practice games, then I'm more keen. Harley Reid, 434. Tough. Just as a main midfielder, just as a midfielder alone. I don't think I'll be going there, but keep your eye out for some Harley Reid magic once again in 2025. Adam Chera, I've actually got him in my side. He got up, I think this time last year it was 608k or something like that, and then obviously had a terrible run of injuries. He's had a pretty clear preseason from what I've heard. I haven't heard any injury concerns out of Chera. As soon as I hear those concerns, I'm out. But 447k, he's a good placeholder, and like he averaged 83 last year, man. Like he can easily do 100. He can easily do 100 plus. So if his body can hold up, I really like the look of him as a mid-pricer. So I think this is actually very under-owned. Cam Guthrie, is there, is he on watch? Is he even going to play midfield? There's still a few injury worries, of course, with Cam Guthrie and the age. And is he him anymore? Don't know. So I guess I'll need preseason to help me figure out that one. Ollie Hollands, I think this is under-owned as well. The 2 baggers, a couple of baggers under-owned, in my opinion. I think off half back. I currently haven't got him into my side just due to structure and what was I going to say? With some people, a lot of people are either choosing Peatling or Hollands. It's tough to differentiate, but I do really like both as picks. Hollands looks. Janet sent me a link to Carlton's training sessions, and Ollie Hollands looks really clean off half back. Cleaned up a lot of his issues from last year, which hampered him from potentially being a half back. So could he be Nick Martin 2.0? We'll have to see. But obviously with Nick Newman going down for the season, we'll see. Hollands off half back. I think there's, all the Raven talk is him being half back, and I've seen the footage. He looks good off half back in those match sims. So keep a massive eye on him in pre-season. And look, they'll probably wrap it up there. Yeah, I'll probably wrap up the reports there. I guess let's do all positions, so not just one position here. So I guess in summary, with a lot of these mid prices at the end of the day, you lock in Caleb Daniel. Yes, you still lock in Bailey Smith. You lock in Jack McRae. Mills at the minute is a lock. Coleman might not play. Ashcroft, you can if you want, up to you. Flynn, if he plays round 1 as the solo ruck, yes. Parker, need a bit more time to see what's going on with that midfield split. Peatling, yes. Sanders, I mean, he might play too good in the first 4 rounds, and then when Treloar comes back, he could just kick Kennedy out of the midfield rotation, and Kennedy could be more forward. So I really like Sanders. Bolton, tough to go with. Filippo's injured, 12%. He won't play round one. Short, I like. Coming, we need to see the role a bit better. Harley Reid, it's a bit of a stretch, and then Chera I think's underrated. Then there's a few hidden gems around here, and a few polar bear in Arlington, Texas. So thank you guys so much for watching. With NBL Supercoach wrapping up, I will be looking to do a lot more content. I think I've said that 4 times, but I promise I will. Um, I think I've said that 4 times over the preseason, but I've been really focusing on NBL Supercoach, where I'm currently in the top 10. One more round to go, and then we can go all guns blazing into AFL Supercoach. And we're not far off from the Pracky games. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.